Once again, the road to WrestleMania is being compromised by black and gold dandy highwaymen. Let's see how much they made off with. This is NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver Night 1 Graded. On the kickoff show, it's Zoey Stark versus Toni Storm. Stark very much on the rise in NXT at the moment. These two have a great back and forth, which we see Stark picking up the victory over following a really game performance by both. We see Storm going for Storm Zero. Stark turns it into an inside cradle for the win. A nice surprise win, actually, for Stark. I'm giving it a B+. Strong pre-match show. Definitely one worth checking out. Delighted to see Stark continue her ascent. And as for Toni Storm, a lot of people see this as a little bit of a backstep for Toni. I think she recovers from this well. We'll see how we go. The main show kicks off with Nita Strauss singing via the guitar the national anthem. You were watching that thinking, gosh, I wonder what 3 wrestling matches Nita Strauss would watch while stranded on a desert island. If only maybe somebody would ask her. Check the comments. Desert Island Graps with Nita Strauss. First match of the night proper. It's Kushida versus Pete Dunne to determine who is the best technical wrestler in all of the wrestlings. Dunne starts to get the momentum in this one after a really solid bit of opening techers with the X-Plex on the apron. From here, we see Pete Dunne in control of the match. Kushida takes it back with a springboard elbow on the raised rampway. By the way, the entranceway, the old Deadly Game skull from 1998 Survivor Series, it's probably a new one, but you love to see it. Lovely effort with all the staging here. And the raised ramp means it's perfect for Kushida to do a nice bit of running through. Running elbows, running kick to Pete Dunne. It was perfect for him. From here, the fight moves constantly back and forth, very aggressively as well. Pete Dunne targeting those fingers. He loves to crack the digits of the lads, doesn't he? And he works over Kushida's hand quite intensely throughout a lot of this one. Kushida lands the hoverboard lock, and we see Pete Dunne make the ropes to break it, but Kushida transitions it into another submission move, which was nice. We see both guys actually trying to get their favourite submission moves on, both managing to find ways out of it. Kushida finally tries to push ahead, however is unable to capitalise on a set of strikes because he hurts his hand, because Pete Dunne's been working on the fingers so much that he hits Pete Dunne in the face, ends up hurting his hand. This is all the opening that Dunne needs. Big old kick to the face, followed by the bitter end, for quite literally the bitter end. 1, 2, 3, Pete Dunne has beaten Kushida. A-, a sensational opening match from these guys. I want to see these guys do a lot more. This was just the tip of the iceberg, I do believe. Up next, it's the Gauntlet Eliminator. The winner of this match will face Johnny Gargano on night 2 of TakeOver. Leon Ruff crawls to the ring to start with. He's been beaten up backstage by Swerve, who slowly walks out behind him. And Swerve's dominating until Ruff finally gets a push in this match. Hits a gorgeous twisting cutter off the apron to Swerve to start to even things up. Bronson Reed is the 3rd man out in this Eliminator match. Ruff tries for a dive onto Reed, ends up getting caught and hoyed back into the ring to great effect. Reed then controls from here, landing a gorgeous double German suplex on both Ruff and Swerve at the same time. He doesn't suplex himself, that would be silly. Cameron Grimes is out fourth. He immediately pays off Swerve to be his mate. So we've got Grimes and Swerve teaming up now, and they start to beat up on Reed and Ruff. Dexter Lumis is out next. He DDTs Bronson Reed on a ramp as a nice, hello, I'm in the match now type maneuver. Once he gets into this, Ruff, as he's making his way to the ring, Ruff doesn't even survive to see Dexter Lumis to say hello, because as Lumis is walking towards the ring, Ruff is pinned by Swerve. First elimination of this match. In the ring though, Lumis just starts getting amongst it with Swerve and Grimes, throwing them around the ring like they're nothing. LA Knight is the final entrant in this match. He's out on the mic giving it all this. Dummy, yeah, but without saying dummy, yeah, I see you, Eli Drake. As he's heading to the ring, Bronson Reed, who he gave a little boot to as he walked past him on the way into the ring, grabs him by the scruff of his neck and throws him into the match. And from there, he's officially part of it. From here, we see Loomis getting involved again. He puts the silence on Grimes, but LA Knight does like a roll-up over the top of him to pin him 1, 2, 3. So Loomis is out of this match. Not long after this, Bronson Reed slams LA Knight for the 3, and Knight's out of the match. And Wade Barrett is genuinely devastated. We get some really good fast-paced triple threat action from here, with Grimes getting rolled up with a handful of tights by Swerve. That friendship didn't last long. Friendship ended with Cameron Grimes. So we're down to Swerve and Bronson Reed. And Swerve somehow is able to muscle Reed off the top rope at one point and drop him onto the apron. Incredible strength there and resiliency. 3 house calls. Don't put away Bronson Reed. Reed is able to push through all of this, manages to land a powerbomb and the tsunami splash for the 1, 2, 3. Bronson Reed wins the Gauntlet, and off he goes to night 2 to face Johnny Gargano. This was a B+. This was a really well-told story throughout this match, really well executed. Great to see Swerve featured so heavily as well. I was so concerned for a while that we might see Swerve get lost in the shuffle as a babyface. He's coming into his own as a heel. And Bronson Reed's the right choice. I want to see Bronson Reed win tonight on NXT TakeOver. Like, the guy has got bags of potential. That's the right call for this match. And a great match, a great fun time was had by all. The NXT UK Championship on the line as Volta defends against Tommaso Ciampa. Ciampa's early fire-up on Volta is stopped with a very, very beefy chop from Volta. He goes for a chop on the announce desk, misses, and Ciampa manages to get out of the way to avoid the chop. Volta ends up knackering the desk in the process of missing this chop. The power of the Volta chop. This match is just beefy strikes consistently from both. This is a real rugged encounter from both of these guys. Ciampa works over Volta for a good long while. It works over his chopping hand to the point where Volta's using the weaker hand to lay some strikes in, and Ciampa ends up wearing that down as well. We see some great shows of strength from Ciampa here. He muscles up Volta for an air raid crash and a fairy tale ending, but neither of them win the whole thing. Volta takes quite a shoo-in from Ciampa, but this is not the night for Ciampa, sadly, despite the fact that Volta is able to persevere and push through all of this. Ciampa looks devastating in there. He is relentless through, and he even lands an avalanche air raid crash late on into this match. Onto Volta. Just ponder that for a second. Ciampa landing a top rope air raid crash onto Volta, but it doesn't win the match. Volta eventually stops the rot with a neck twist. A simple but incredibly effective move that shuts down Ciampa, obviously working on that surgically repaired neck area, followed by 2 power bombs. Near fall though, doesn't quite get it done. However, he quickly follows that up as Ciampa's getting to his feet with a reverse suplex and a killer chop with the good chopping hand for the 1, 2, 3. And Volta retains the NXT UK Championship. This is an A+. This was a blistering affair that throughout you were just sucked into. Like, these two just tore strips off one another. It's great when you get these matches that genuinely get you catching your breath at points. And that's what Ciampa and Volta did. This has been the highlight so far of a really good show. A+, easy. The NXT Tag Team titles are decided next. MSK versus Legado del Fantasma versus the Grizzled Young Veterans. And all 3 teams take it in turns to take the lead early on until the Grizzled Young Vets manage to slow it down and take their time wearing down on MSK. MSK come alive after the commercial break. We see Wesley wiping out everyone with dives, leaping Pele kicks. Wesley was a force of nature for this brief point in this match. We see GYV going for the Doomsday device on the outside of the ring, but Carter and Lee are able to stop this from happening. They even send Legado del Fantasma packing when they try and get back into this match shortly after this as well. The veterans end up attacking the injured hand of Wesley. Lee. And it kind of feels like this is where the finish is going, because we see James Drake holding the hand, leaving it vulnerable for Zach Gibson to give it a big old running boot. From there, we see the big Shankly gates locked on by Gibson. And it looks like Wesley's going to tap out, but Carter's in there to try and stop him. And Drake has got Carter, but somehow it's a lovely moment. They capture it so well, with Carter able to put his hand out to stop Wesley from tapping. We look really cool. And then just as like you think, where's this going to go? Here come Legado del Fantasma to stop everything from happening. We see Drake land a Tope Doomsday onto Wild. Mendoza eats a double team from MSK on the other side of the ring, and then that brings us to the closing moments between GYV and MSK. They have the stare down very briefly before they get into it. We get a spirited exchange between these two teams that ends up with Gibson getting dropped with that blockbuster combo for the 1, 2, 3. And just like that, MSK are your new NXT Tag Team Champions. This match was an excellent, fast-paced action from the bell, and one that really kept you guessing all the way till the very, very end. I thought the finish was thrown at you a couple of times that this might be the finish, this might be the finish. It wasn't. They kept going. Love this. MSK, high hopes for them as tag team champions. I think there's lots of good that these guys can do in that division. And with GYV in the mix as well, I want to see them swapping the belts for a little bit. Definitely want a Grizzled Young Veterans tag team title reign at some point. Legado del Fantasma hold their own in this one as well, but this was all about the GYV and the MSK. Okay, NXT, MFI, REM, DIY. So we come to the main event, and it's Io Shirai putting the NXT Women's Championship on the line against Raquel González. From the moment the match starts, Shirai charges at González, but gets shut down fast. The first bit of offense Shirai manages to land is a dive to the outside, but before she can capitalize on it, Dakota Kai is getting in there, causing the distraction. Kai gets sent to the back, and we don't see her again for the rest of the night. And from here, we see Raquel González recover following a moonsault to throw Shirai lawn dart style into the ring post. Big move here. Congrats, by the way, to Raquel González, who I think did the first alley-up that didn't look rubbish. You remember in 01, Big Show had the finish of the alley-up. It was that sort of weird flip back powerbomb. They always look a bit rubbish, but González is using it to whip her opponent neck first into the top of the ropes, which I think is brilliant. And I don't think anyone's done that before. If I'm wrong, then do let me know. But I don't think anyone has. This is a good move for González. We see Shirai manage to get a comeback still. She's been on the back foot for a lot of this. She gets a crossface on Raquel González. They end up fighting up the ramp where Io Shirai ascends the skull on the stage and dives off the skull onto Raquel González. The spot of the night here sees Io Shirai almost disappear out of sight at one point and then come crashing down onto González. One heck of a moment here. Back in the ring, we see Shirai land the moonsault, but González kicks out. We then see González recover from this, hit the one-arm powerbomb on the floor, hit a second one in the ring shortly afterwards. 1, 2, 3. And we have a new NXT Women's Champion in Raquel González. Big steam effects and lighting effects to celebrate this moment. This feels like the start of something really special. And the match is an A+ for me. I thought it was an excellent main event. I thought it was well put together. Top marks to Io Shirai. I think that we've had some conversations on Graded about her title reign, about perhaps it's kind of lacked that real meat on the bone. I think the way that she ended the title reign was stunning. Absolutely went out like a champion. So a great note to end Shirai's reign on, but also a great note to start Raquel González's reign on. She looks like she is going to destroy the entire division. Just a couple of notches, I would say, a few notches below Ciampa Volta. I think that is still my match of the night, but this was still an excellent main event of a really strong show. And overall, I'm giving NXT TakeOver Night 1 an A. They do this. When the lights are on brightest, regardless of the build, takeovers deliver. They stand and deliver. Hey! And we're in this wonderful position now where normally at this point we would have had our takeover and we go, okay, over to you, WrestleMania, top that. But on this occasion, it's interesting because NXT is basically going to try and outdo itself tonight because it's TakeOver night 2. So they set the bar beautifully for tonight, and I think today's show was an A. I think last night's show was an A. Time is a construct at this point. I think night 1 was an A. I genuinely think with the card they've got, night 2 could be an A+. Come back in 24 hours and find out how right we were. Check out, if you haven't done so already, my chat with Nita Strauss. She picks 3 wrestling matches she'd watch while stranded on a desert island, and she did that before playing the national anthem. She's ace. Stay safe. Love you, bye.